Hello students, I am Sayyid Yasmin. Welcomes you in the e-learning classes organized by Cambridge High School. Our first chapter is plants increasing the numbers. Now, increasing the numbers, it means that giving rise to the new one. So how the plants are giving rise to the new ones, that is the new plants. That we'll see in this chapter. So there are different methods, different process by which they give rise to the new ones, and that process is actually called as reproduction. Reproduction is actually the process by which plants give rise to new ones by themselves. Now, what are the different ways? Number one, that is the new plants from seeds. How the plants arise from the seeds. So, before understanding this topic, one should know that what are the different types of seeds. There are two types of seeds. One is monocot and next is dicot. Mono means single and students di means double. 2. Monocot. Cot means here actually it is representing cotyledons, and cotyledons means seed leaves. So monocot means one cotyledon and dicot means two cotyledons. Now what does the structure of seed represents? Here students you just see this is outer covering. Here also you can see the outer covering. This outer covering of the seed is actually called as seed coat. Here the seed coat is actually the outer hard covering of the seed which protects the baby plant. See students, this is the baby plant. This is the baby plant which is given protection by the seed coat. So the function of the seed coat is to protect the baby plant. Now here students, this is the embryo part. Here you can see this area is the embryo of the monocot and this area is the embryo of the dicot. Now what is the embryo? Embryo is actually the baby plant. It is having the two parts. One is the plumule and another is the radicle. Now plumule and radicle is new term for you. Plumule means develop into stems. Later on when it germinates into a whole plant, when we put it into the soil, the plumule parts develop into the stem, whereas radicle it develops into root part. Now, so that is the parts of the embryo. Now, here you can see the orange part, what I have marked in the diagram. Here you can see this is the stored food. Because the baby plant, it's not having the leaves. See, plumule and radicle yet not developed into the root and stem, and they are not having the leaves because leaves prepare the food for the plants with the help of the photosynthesis. So they should get the food because when we are baby, our mother and father provides food to us. So when we are baby, so the food is provided us. So that food is stored here in the cotyledon part. Unless and until it just converts into a whole plant, this cotyledons will provide the food to the baby plant. Now, here we can see some examples of the seed coat. We see the examples of the seed of the monocot as well as the dicot. Here, maize, wheat, rice are some examples of the monocot seed, and gram, pea and beans are the examples of the dicot seed. So, with the structure, it is clear that what are the overall structure of the seed. The structure of seed carries seed coat, embryo and the stored food. Now, after seeing the structure, now we can able to clarify in the part that is the germination of the seed. How the seed converts into the whole plant. That I'll explain you in my next diagram of the germination of the seed and what are the necessary things required for a proper germination of the seed. Before entering into that, I'll show you the structure of pea, that is the original structure. I'll show you. Students, you can see here. I think it is visible. Here you can see this is the two cotyledons of the pea. This is the original pea structure I am showing, beta. This is the, and you can see the plumule and the radicle part. Later on, this plumule will convert into stem and the radicle will convert into shoot. See how it is germinating. Here you can see, beta, how it is germinating, how it is coming outside the seed part. See what we have drawn the structure of the dicot. This is the two cotyledons. Okay. Now we'll move to our next part, that is the germination.
Start.
As you have seen that seed is a tiny life supporting package. Now before that we have seen what are the different types of seed, that is a monocot and dicot. Now here we'll see that how seed will germinate, that is the germination of seed. Now what are the things required for the proper germination of a seed? Number 1, water is required. Number 2, sunlight is required. And number 3, air is required. Now sunlight, we can call it as warmth because we are getting warm from the sunlight. What happens if water is not there? If water is not there, the seed coat will not soften, because in the wet soil, the seed coat gets softened, which helps the baby plants to break open the seed coat and comes out of the seed coat. That is during the time of germination. Now, sunlight makes the seed active, because activeness of the seed is very required in the process of germination. Otherwise, it goes into the dormant period. Air for proper breathing. Seed also requires proper breathing. If you will keep inside the seed inside the water, and if you will think that it will germinate, so it will not germinate, because proper breathing is not there, proper air supply is not there. So through the diagram, we'll see how seeds journey into a whole plant. See here, you can say this is the inside the soil. Before here above the orange line, it is above the soil, and this is below the soil. This color combination I have made so that it is easy for you to understand that which part is above the soil and which part is below the soil. Now here you can see the seed, this area you can see the radical area. Now it's just emerging out. I have shown you in the original P also how it emerges out of the seed. See, the radical is emerging out. Now in the third stage, so see it came, the baby plant now is out of the, see, from the soil side. It's above the soil area now, and some of the radical plumule is converted into the stem area. Now it's slowly it's emerging, and now here it's spreading the radical part, that is the root part. Here you can see now the primary root has established. Here you can see the primary roots and some of the secondary roots also. In the third stage, you can see from the cotyledon, now the first leaf has emerged out. Here you can see the first leaf emerged out of the cotyledon part. Here you can see the secondary root. Here you can see the secondary root area. Now it's actually the first leaf is now, after this, now the several leaves now you can see in this area. Cotyledon is still here. After some time the cotyledons will just goes off, and here you can see the leaves, and the new leaves are emerging in this stage. Here you can see some tertiary roots, secondary, primary roots are there. It's now expanding. It's now expanding so that it can absorb more and more water. And now the leaves also now in the stage that they can able to prepare food. This area above the soil is actually negative geotropism, and which is towards the soil is positive geotropism. Students, I'll just let you know that what is geotropism. That is any action which is in response of the force of gravity. That is in response of force of gravity that is towards the earth. So here you can see the stem part is moving away from the earth. So that is negative geotropism. And which is moving towards the earth, that is root area, is showing the positive geotropism. I'll show you the original structure of the plant. Here you can see, I have taken out from the garden. Here you can see, students. Here you can see the below soil, the color also changes. See, below the soil, and this is above the green stem now. It is the new plant, it is the baby plant, because the stem part is not totally established. Here you can see this is the primary root, students. Here you can see the primary roots. Here you can see the primary roots, and here you can see the secondary roots are establishing. See, some of the new leaves are also emerging. Here you can see the new leaves. The new leaves are also emerging. But these leaves now able to produce food for the plant. It is not dependent on the cotyledons, the stored food. Okay, from this it is clear, this is the negative geotropism and this is the positive geotropism, because the root area, see, it is going towards the earth and it is going away from the earth. It is showing positive phototropism, that is towards the sunlight, the action. With this, it is clear that how a new plant emerges out from the seed. In our next video, I'll explain you how seed travels from one part to another, because it is not possible for a plant to travel from one part to another. So, there are different modes by which seeds travel from one part to another, that we'll see in my next video, that is dispersal of seeds. Hope you will understand this topic, and please draw diagrams in your notes copy. Thank you and have a nice day.